real period story from a 13th century book called The Golden Legend, which is a collection of saints' lives. And I would like it to tell you this particular story so that you can feel edified and part of the medieval tradition. In the days of Emperor Theodosius, St. Julian was given permission to build a church to God near Gaudet. And the way that he built this church is that he would stop people who came along the road near the church, and he would ask them for a few hours of their time so that they could build the church together. And in this way, work proceeded relatively quickly. But one day, some rascals decided they did not want to help St. Julian build the church to God. And they came up with a scheme amongst themselves so that they wouldn't have to do it. They took one of their company and they put him in the back of the cart. And he rolled up his eyes and stuck out his tongue and cocked his head over to one side and did a very passable impression of a dead man. And they took a sheet and they rolled it up over him. And then they continued on the rest of the way to Gaudet. When they came near the place that St. Julian was building his church, he stopped them and he said, "My friends, come for a few hours and help me build this church to God so that we might edify him together." "Oh no, St. Julian," they said, "we couldn't possibly, for we are transporting our dead friend to the cemetery, a most holy Christian task, and we cannot stop for anything." St. Julian looked at them and said, "It's all right, come, it's many hands make light work, it won't be so hard, we'll all do it together and then you can go on your way." "Oh no, St. Julian," they said, "we can't possibly, friend cemetery, can't." And a third time, St. Julian asked them and said, "This is a most holy task, and together we will edify, we will exalt God. Won't you come for just a few hours?" And they said, "No, St. Julian, we can't." And they rolled back the sheet. And there was their friend with his eyes rolled back and his tongue cocked out and his head cocked over to one side, looking very much like a dead man. And they rolled the sheet back up so that St. Julian wouldn't see him breathing. And St. Julian looked at them and said, "Very well, let it be as you say." Ooh. And I said, "Thank you, St. Julian," and all they went. And when they had gone a little way away from where St. Julian was, they looked down at the cart and said, "All right, you lazy oaf, time to get up and drive the oxen. You've got to walk like the rest of us. No point in you lying around." And there was no answer. And they poked him and they said, "You can't be lying in the cart all day. You make it heavier. You've got to get out and drive the oxen." And there was no answer. And they rolled back the sheet, and there he was with his eyes rolled back and his tongue stuck out and his head cocked over to one side. And he was not breathing. In fact, he was quite dead. And from this, we can learn 3 lessons. First, it is best not to lie to a man of God. Second, a few hours of earthly toil may sometimes be worth an eternity of torment. And third, sometimes if you make that face, it really will stay that way.